What's up, guys? Welcome back to ManCave Collectibles, coming at you today with another figure review. This is the second figure in the new Arethyr wave from Mythic Legions that we will be looking at here on the channel. If you missed the one from yesterday, we had Arethyr himself, or however you want to pronounce it. Again, I'm not the best at pronouncing these Mythic Legions names and wave names, but today we're looking at Belphegorr. This was my second favorite figure in this wave and super happy to have him in hand. Taking a look at his packaging, it's very reminiscent of pretty much anything we've looked at on the channel before. We've got the Mythic Legions logoing here. Really nice window box here where we can see our figure. Very nice if you're an in-package collector. These will suit you perfectly. Coming around to the side, we do have the bio for this guy. If you want to pause that and read up on him, you can. As we look at the back of the box, we have really nice box art here of Arethyr we looked at yesterday, as well as a little bit of the mythos of Mythic Legions down here in the bottom. We also have the remainder of the wave here on the side, and then on this side we have their faction logo. Let's go ahead and crack this guy out of his packaging and see what we got. All right, guys, so we got Belphegorr out of his packaging and onto our review table, and man, let me tell you, this guy is certainly giving Arethyr a run for his money. This face sculpt on this guy is truly unbelievable. Let's go ahead and jump into our accessories first. With pretty much all Mythic Legions, he gets the belt. So this belt has just a little sheath here where you could store a weapon or a sword. When we saw it on Arethyr, his were actually draped across his shoulders, so you could do that as well. So it doesn't have to necessarily be a belt. It can be almost worn in like a bandolier style. So that's pretty much going to be a standard accessory with any of your Mythics. And it's just done in kind of this almost like a leather type of look. Also, with all Mythic Legions, you get your accessories here to hold wings on, or different accessories onto the backs of your characters. So you can see that. Just got some peg holes and ports there for those. We also get with this guy his two pauldrons. Just kind of a gunmetal gray with some black wash over them. Got our pegs here, portholes on the back. Also with Belphegorr here, we do get two holding hands. So this was kind of interesting here. I haven't really done a whole lot of Mythic Legions where I got an additional set of hands. You can see we got kind of some semi-relaxed hands. Those probably could not hold his weapon. They could, it just wouldn't look clean. But these right here will hold those weapons real nice and clean. And then lastly, we get his two weapons. So these are really well done. These kind of have like a sickle look to them almost, a slash sword. Got a real nice chrome paint color here for the blade. The handle here has black with a little bit of lighter colors, lighter grays or something maybe kind of intermingled into it. Looks really nice. And these are perfectly straight out of the packaging, as you can see there. Let's jump straight into taking a closer look at this guy. Look at number one, let's just look at the eyes here. Those eyes look like they're lit up. I mean, that is a phenomenally well done paint job there by the Mythic Legions and the four Horsemen. To have a figure that's going to look that commanding on your shelf, that's really what you look for. But yeah, there is no special light effects on those eyes right now. That's just the color. They've painted them yellow. Bring him in, take a little bit closer look at it, but you can see how they've painted them just a really nice glossy yellow, and that's really made them stand out and almost look like there's some type of light piping or light up feature to them. It's pretty amazing. Up here on the top of his head too, I'm not sure how well it's going to, show up on camera, but there's definitely like some cracks slash veins that are kind of running through the top of that head, and they've got almost like a purplish blue tint to it as well. It's really hard to explain, but it is absolutely one of the best paint jobs I've ever seen on a figure in this price range. It is really amazing. The teeth, perfectly done. Every single tooth, you can see the details in between them. They've added kind of a black in between each tooth. The horns up here, sculpted very well. They kind of have that same purplish, bluish tint that we see here on the top of the head, and kind of really even throughout his whole face. Chin sculpted out real nice, couple horns sticking out there. He does have kind of this collar here around his neck. That will come off. You just pop the head off and you can actually remove this if that's something you did not want. We'll have to see how that works as far as the pauldrons on there. You can see the pauldrons peg in here. I've also got two wings that we're going to try to put on him here. So we'll need this porthole as well. So we'll see if this will fit in with all of that. But kind of throughout the whole body, he kind of has a little bit of a purple hue to him, which just looks phenomenal over the top of that red. And then as we come on down, we get down here to the skirt area and loincloth, whatever we call it. I never seem to get the names right on what a lot of these things are supposed to be called, but it's kind of similar to what we've seen before with some other Mythics. This is kind of gives you the impression this is more like a metal style armor, just painted in a nice gunmetal gray with some gold accent for what would probably be considered the buttons. This is just a soft plastic. And then as far as the boots, these are the same kind of calf area of the boots as what we saw on Arethyr yesterday. But the difference is he's got the hooves, which look really, really nice. Look at that. You can just see how good those look and how well detailed and sculpted they are. The four horsemen are just really well ahead of the game and always have been from a sculpting standpoint. See the bottom of those, pretty cool how they fully sculpted all the way through and through. So yeah, look, just again, we'll take another look at that face. I'm blown away by this head sculpt. It may be my favorite head sculpt of any character in Mythic Legion so far. I think from an overall character, an overall figure standpoint, I think the Arethyr is my favorite, but the head sculpt definitely goes to Belphegorr here. All right, so let's go ahead and let's work on some of the accessories that he comes with. The first thing I'll show you is I did pick up a set of wings here that we're going to try to put on him. Now they're big, and we're going to see if he can manage that. If he's a kind of a hefty enough character to do so. I think we can. So we'll see how that looks. You can see here on this side, kind of has that red and purplish hue to him as well. It's gonna fit in real nice, I think, with his color scheme. So we'll see how that looks. But what we'll start off with here is the pauldrons. So let's go ahead and see how the pauldrons fit in with that neck piece that he has there. I really want it all to work together. I love that neck piece there behind his neck. I think it just gives him a little bit of a bulky look, which I love. All right, guys, so there we have him with the pauldrons on, and man, I swear I'm loving this guy more and more with everything we do to him. Let's go ahead, let's see if we can happen to get those wings to fit amongst kind of what we have in the back. You can see it is pretty packed out back there with the kind of the neck collar here and then the pauldrons here. So we do have a little bit of a window in there. Let's see if we can get those wings to fit in. All right, guys, so we got Belphegorr with his wings on, and it's unreal. It truly is. I'm torn now because with the wings, I don't know if it's him or Arethyr that are my favorite. This is just so well done. I think the four horsemen absolutely just nailed really this whole wave. We've got other figures we're going to look at in this wave that really just take it to another level. But as I was hoping, these wings are perfect for this guy. From a color standpoint, they're perfect. Now, I will tell you, they're making very, very top heavy. So if you're going to use these wings, there's a couple ways you could do it. Number one, you could do some type of a flight stand to kind of hold him in place. Number two, you could do it the way I have it here, which is I kind of have the wings used a little bit as a kickstand because they are big enough. They're very large wings. They're big enough that you can kind of position them how you want them and then kind of use the wing to help hold him in position. So that's what we're doing here. I went ahead and kind of threw his sword so we can kind of see what that looks like. We did the hand swap out. Here's the hand that come off the figure, so you can kind of see how it's like a semi-relaxed hand. So it would be tougher to hold the sword with that. But yeah, this guy, Belphegorr, is definitely, we're gonna say he's tied for my first favorite figure in this wave so far, and tied for my favorite figure in my whole Mythic Legions collection as of right now. Let's go ahead and we're going to bring in some other figures just for size comparison, and we'll wrap up our video. All right, guys, and for our first size comparison, we've got Arethyr. That is actually the first figure I reviewed from this wave. Man, could you imagine walking on the battlefield and these are the two guys you run into? I think the white flag would go up immediately for me. Let's go ahead and just look at our size here. So we'll get our ruler out, and you can see that Belphegorr stands really with the horns about 7.5 inches, probably right about 7 inches to the top of his head. Over here with Arethyr, you're at about pretty much 9 inches with the flame effect on the head. But you can see if you kind of take the horns and the flame hair out of it, they're really about the same size. They appear to be on the same body from what I can tell. You can confirm that down in the comments if you're certain on that. But man, just what a phenomenal start to this wave we have here. We have 5 more figures to review as well, so I just cannot wait to continue on in this line. Let's bring in a few other figures. So here you got a couple more figures here for scale guys. We've got one of our smaller body mold figures here, as well as one of our larger, being in the 9-inch. There is a troll, which is much larger than all of these, but I don't think from a scale standpoint we're really going to need him. So we do have a 9-inch figure here. We run about 5 inches there, and that's going to be around the same size as like your dwarf figures also. So there you go, guys. That is Belphegorr the Demon. One neat thing about these figures, guys, is if you go out to the Source Horsemen website, you're able to go out and actually read the bios on all of these characters. They pretty much have set up a world for us as collectors that we can go out and just kind of, as you continue to read the bios, you start to put this story together as to who these characters are, where they come from, what their goal is, the different wars or battles that have occurred. It's a pretty neat little world that they've set up for us, and definitely adds to the collectability of each of these characters. We did skip out on articulation on this guy because it is the same body as the Arethyr that we went over yesterday. So if you're interested in articulation, go check out that video and you will see it's just going to be standard articulation for this guy. They are pretty much on the same body mold. So check that out. Don't want to waste a lot of time in a review video doing the same type of articulation over and over again. Definitely check that one out. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Helps get the video out there for other people to be able to see. If you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing to the channel. Would love to have you as part of the ManCave Collectibles team. And as always, drop those comments down below. Would love to hear your guys' thoughts on the Mythic Legions line, on Belphegorr especially. Is this something you collect? Is this something you want to start collecting? I've certainly been a bad influence on a couple guys up to this point, and they've jumped in on these figures here recently. I hope everybody has a good rest of your day. Until next time.